Welcome back. Our next ultimate question is, what went wrong? The straightforward answer to this question is this. Through one man, sin entered the world, and death through sin. The first man and woman, Adam and Eve, were given great freedom, but also one serious warning. But from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat, for in the day that you eat the fruit of it, you shall surely die. This was an ideal test of man's willingness to obey what God had said simply because God said it. But the devil tempted Eve to disbelieve and disobey God's words, and she did. So when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree desirable to make one wise, she took its first fruit and ate. She also gave to her husband with her, and he ate. At that moment, sin entered the world. By his deliberate disobedience, man cut himself off from God. Instead of loving God, Adam and Eve were terrified of him. Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord among the trees of the garden. Instead of being assured, confident, and happy, their sin had made them ashamed, guilty, and afraid. But God had said that man would die if he disobeyed, and he did. Death means separation from God, and in one terrible moment, man became separated from God. He died spiritually. He also began to die physically, and now had a dead soul and a dying body. But that was not all. The children of Adam and Eve inherited their corrupt nature and sinful character. From then on, like pollution at the source of a river, the poison of sin has flowed to all Adam's descendants, and thus death spread to all men, because all sinned. Notice the important word all, which obviously includes the writer and the reader of this page. We may never meet on this earth, but we have this in common. We are sinners, and we are dying. If we say we have no sin, we deceive ourselves, and the truth is not in us. And if we claim not to be dying, we are being ridiculous. Fooling around with the facts does nothing to change them. Many of today's newspaper, television, and radio headlines remind us of the fact that the world is in a mess. It is easy to condemn violence, injustice, disorder, and wrongdoing in society. But before criticizing others, ask yourself whether you are perfect and living a life pleasing to a holy God. Are you absolutely honest, pure, loving, and selfless? God knows the answers to these questions, and so do you. For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. You are a sinner by birth, by nature, by practice, and by choice, and you urgently need to face the facts and the consequences.